Okay, chapter 13, the major letters of Paul. This is almost overwhelming that we would take in one week and as a portion of a week. Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. Let's try to summarize and look at it. I'm going to deal in this short video with 1 Corinthians. And 1 Corinthians is a great book. It deals with problems. It is a book, it's almost a manual of church life. So Paul writes to the Corinthians. There's this pretty powerful, strong interchange between Paul and the Corinthians. In essence, 4 letters are written in total. We've lost 2 of them. 2 are non-existent today that we can find, and 2 that we have, 1 Corinthians and 2 Corinthians. Here's a situation. Chloe's household has written to Paul to inform him of the condition of the saints at Corinth. And here's basically what she says to him. We are not united. We are divided. We're a fractured church. We've got factions all over the place. There's the Paul faction, the Peter faction, the Apollos faction. There's all kinds of factions. There's even the Jesus faction. In the midst of that, she says, and here's another problem, they're not recognizing you as an apostle anymore. And there's obvious reasons why Paul was continually in controversy. He was not one of the original 12, so forth and so on. The third thing she says, and let me tell you something else. We've got immorality of a gross nature taking place in the church. And we got to deal with it. What are we going to do? Because the leaders are shy to stand up and speak out. And so there it is. Immorality sitting right there in our midst every week. The fourth thing that she writes to Paul about is, and not only that, she says, not only all this disunity and so forth and questions of authority, but we're finding out that these Christians are suing each other in law courts, and it just ought not be. Then there is the fifth, which is just basic sexual impurity that's taking place throughout the congregation. Now, it sounds a little bit similar to some things that we might face in the church today, don't you think? So here are this is a breakdown of what Paul deals with in 1 Corinthians. He deals with divorce, husband and wife relationship. Is it good for a man to be married? If he's married, what if his wife wants to leave him, and what is he supposed to do with all these type things? Hitchhiking off what Jesus said in Matthew 19, powerful, important chapter 7 of 1 Corinthians on husband-wife relationship, and where is the place for divorce in the Christian community. It's an important topic. He also deals with celibacy. What about those who never get married? He brings up this question of meat offered to idols. Now, why would that be an issue? This is obviously addressing the Gentiles that are within the church at Corinth, that they would in some way be around a restaurant attached to a pagan temple. And these restaurants, if you will, took the meat, the carcasses of animals that were offered to demons in that pagan temple, and they were then made into steaks and sold at the restaurant. Is it right to eat meat offered to idols? He answers that. He addresses his apostleship. He gives a defense of it, chapter 9. He deals with the Lord's Supper. That's another controversy. People were actually abusing the Lord's Supper, and he says, therefore, as a result of that, there are many sick and some even dead in your midst. It's a powerful statement about the Lord's Supper and why we should observe it properly. Chapter 11 deals with this interesting topic of head coverings. Now, the real topic is headship, and that goes back to husband and wife relationship, male-female relationship. The place of gender identity and relationships and headship, particularly in the home and husband-wife relationship. The man is the head of the woman, and Christ is the head of the man, so forth and so on. But then he gets into this question of head coverings and hair length and all that type thing, and that's been bandied about amazingly through church history, and it's well worth our study. It's surprising that this is not a study in how to do your hair. This is a study in why God made male and female and what that means, and the whole question of what does it mean, headship. It's an important topic. Spiritual gifts then comes up, and church order. Spiritual gifts, amazing topic. How spiritual gifts should operate not only in the individual life, but in the life of the church. 1 Corinthians 12 deals more personal. 1 Corinthians 14 deals more in the church setting, in the church service. Should you just speak in tongues in the church service, or should there be an interpreter? That's what it talks about. Prophecy and how prophecy works in the church service. The last topic that he deals with is the resurrection, which is more theological. In what body will we return? What will be resurrected? Paul simply affirms the validity of the Christian teaching, not of reincarnation, that's pagan, but of resurrection. And what does that mean? And so 1 Corinthians is a powerful and important book in the New Testament, particularly dealing with church life and the questions that arise as we follow Jesus. God bless you as you study.